Hey folks, so it is Sunday. I'm done reading over y'all's drafts, and I want to give you an update. Today, this week, is a busy week. We have, actually, right here, but there's a lot going on right now. So we are in Module 12, as you guys have seen. I just adjusted the due date. That was supposed to be due tomorrow, Monday the 8th. Looking at it, thinking about the essay that I adjusted those times on that. I need to push that back a little bit more. Anyhow, so I'm sorry for adjusting the due dates. Just as I'm looking and reading and getting feedback to you, I'm just trying to make it to where it's a manageable process for y'all as well. However, there's a lot to do. So most of you, the essays that I read are not, like they are, I would say, between half hour, 45 minutes, maybe an hour to 2 hours worth of revision, and you're good to go. But then you have this theme paper, and this is a big assignment for the semester. So I want you to make sure you're taking that seriously. We're going to go through this module 12. We're going to go through the assignment. So this is going to be a little bit longer video. I'm sorry. I would say you can scroll through it, but since we are online and we are not going to class and you're not getting a lecture from me, this is kind of my lecture, my opportunity to give you guys some pointers. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to make a couple of general comments about the essays, their due date, and then I'm going to go through Module 12, and then I'm going to, in that process, I'm going to go through the assignment, the theme paper assignment, which requires you to get to the library. Now you can do that actually. You can go to the library, or you can go digitally. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to also run you through a little digital visit and how you might look up some of the things to kind of, and what kinds of documents you might want to be looking up for your support for the theme you've chosen and for the paper you've chosen. All right, for the paper you want to rate. Okay, so a little adjustment there. I'm going to move this to here. There we go. Okay. So, comments on the essays. So, with comparing the short analysis essay 1 to the short analysis essay 2, night and day. Loving the use of the language. You guys are understanding it. Clearly, these were drafts. Some of you, really, almost final drafts. Some of you have some work to do, but all of them that I read, the trajectory was in the right direction. Also, I don't even know that I had any essays that I had to deal with any kind of AI generation stuff on this particular round. So 2 thumbs up. Thank you so very much. That's awesome. And so, like I said, some of you, like, the revision is probably going to be somewhere between, some of you like are crushing it, like, I'm saying, hey, that's a great draft, just fix these things. That's, half hour or so. But some of you have a couple of hours to work on the essays, and those are the ones where you have your thoughts started, but you're not completed. Maybe you're not engaging with the text quite enough, but they're in the right direction. So yay, that was which is going to make for a much better reading for your final drafts. So I'm happy for that too. Okay. That's the first thing. Second thing, make sure that you're following the formatting stuff. So each of these should have a works cited page. We want to get into the practice of utilizing the MLA formatting and the works cited page. So make sure that you are reviewing that. There's tons of resources in the modules that we've done so far, and so that should not be an issue. The big thing I'm finding is the use or the formatting of the works cited pages. That seems to be the biggest issue. So please take care of that. Now let's move into Module 12. So Module 12 isn't a massive module. It's kind of like to get you started on your theme paper, to kind of so you have some groundwork here. So right now you're multitasking in the course. You're revising this paper, and that's part of what you're doing, but you're also working on this next paper. And so what we're doing here, and we'll get to the assignment here in a minute, but you're really thinking about an overall theme on what we've read. So thinking about or we'll talk when we get to the assignment. That'll be a better place. So I'm just going to go through here the module 12. So when we're looking at this, this is what we're covering in this module, and the thing you're doing, you're going to be posting I'm going to move this up here. All right. So you're going to be posting this on this discussion board. We'll get to in just a second. So as we're moving through the module, we go to the next page, the instructions. Research-based writing involves literature incorporates both primary and secondary sources. The text being discussed, the primary sources are generally the subject of the research. The secondary sources. The primary sources are the sources of the research, the subject of the research, and the secondary sources are the ones that you use to back up what you're suggesting. So, for example, you are reading, your theme is, I don't know, love, simple one, and the literature we've read so far. Or, that's so lame. Let's use, disenfranchisement, to being disenfranchised. So not feeling you have a voice. That could be in the Langston Hughes poem. That could be in Good Bones. That could be in Good Man is Hard to Find. It could be in The Things They Carried. So multiple examples of the literature deal with people feeling disenfranchised. So disenfranchised. I'm pronouncing that oddly. So if you're looking at that, if that's your theme, start thinking about the works that might fit this theme, and those would be some primary sources. But you also, when we get to the assignment here, because right now you need to make sure you're looking up the theme argumentative research project. Okay, let's look at these guidelines. Step 1, choose a theme. Determine a theme you wish to discuss in a paper is related to at least one of the texts read in the course. I say one text, I would absolutely have something that kind of permeates a couple of texts so you can bring them in to your research too. The paper can focus on the theme, society, gender roles, alienation, bullying, etc. The theme in general literature, how authors use theme A in many ways, or the theme could be specific text. Kincaid uses generalization, generational differences in girl. It could be, well, I'm gonna look up one. I'm gonna show you how I did one of these here in just a second. Talking about I said disenfranchisement, but like you could do it like with regards to symbolism, religious symbolism in Flannery O'Connor, but you could use it in religious symbolism in Flannery O'Connor and Raymond Carver. It doesn't have to be a poem. You could have it in religious symbolism in Robert Frost or Poe and Flannery O'Connor, however you want to do it. So it's going to be either society-based, general-based, or specific to a text-based. So, for example, if you read one of the stories or the poems or a couple of these, which I love these things and I love how this writer did something that really sang to you, use it, absolutely. However, now we move into the research part. Research. Find and read at least 5 academic sources in the Eastern Florida State College library catalog and/or databases. The sources may be books, ebooks, articles from journals, newspapers, magazines, films, videos, or broadcasts. Any of those are fine. This is not a YouTube search. It is a library search. Use only sources available from the Eastern Florida State College libraries. Has to be accessed that way. Used full text articles rather than those available only as abstracts. I'm going to show you an article here in just a second that kind of gives you a feel for what you might be looking at. Avoid the following source types and databases: dictionaries, encyclopedias, biographies, reviews, pro-con articles, specific databases, opposing viewpoints and context, Google Scholar, avoid those. So with that being said, we're on step 2 research. Let's do that. So if I go to my Eastern Florida State College, and I don't think there's anything on here that is, nope, and I go to library resources. So it's going to open up Eastern Florida State College library resources. Now I'm here. What do I do here? Well, I can ask a librarian for sure. There's all kinds of tools here. However, what I like here is, what about, I like Flannery O'Connor. So let's go with, I like symbolism. So let's go with symbolism. Oop, I guess I need to click this. There we go. Symbolism of Flannery O'Connor. There we go. Now, this is going to give me just a ton of references. So what I want to do is I want to come over here, and I like the resource type here. Okay, so let's go articles. All right, so now we're into just articles in here. Flannery O'Connor's others for the unconscious. I don't know if that's something I want. All right, here now. What I did earlier, so that anyway, that's a way you can start doing this. So if I come here, I just typed in Flannery O'Connor, a good man is hard to find earlier, and then I went to my articles. And then this is what came up. So I have on the significant civil references. I have biblical allusions. This is a lame article. I'll show you that real quick. So if I go here, and it pops up the article. I clicked on the article. I go here into Gale Academic One file. So this pops up, and it has this article, but it's literally, not even a page. It is really not very good at all. So I'm not going to use that. However, let's go back to on the significance of civil references. This is peer reviewed. That's a good thing for me. It's available online. Let me go here. Where is it available online? This Gale as well. I'm going to go here. I've clicked onto Gale. I like to download the article, so I download this. It's going to go to my downloads here. And I'm going to then, here's my article. So here now we can cruise. You can look through this article. This is from the spring of 2018. I'll look up the works cited information here in a minute. Anyway. This is an article. This is the type of article you would want to be reading. So it's multiple pages. And then when you read these academic articles from these journals, I like to use, so I'm going through this whole thing. They have the notes here that they will have throughout the entirety of the article. But then they get these works cited pages. As you're reading, this is a great place to what I call mining for other sources, and to here you can, someone says something clever in the article, like, oh my gosh, let me look up that source, and then you can just type that into your research. So this can oftentimes be like a little rabbit hole you can go into with research, especially if you're doing something specific to an article. So if you wanted to do something on a good man is hard to find, or the things they carried, or Langston Hughes poetry or poem, whatever it is you want to write about, you type it in. So I was going to minimize this. Type it into your Eastern Florida okay, let's click out of this. Let's go just This is the point in a classroom where I say, what do you guys want to think? What do you guys want to look up? Let's go with themes in Robert Frost poetry. Okay, I'm going to go, I'm a big articles kind of guy. Nope, that's not what I wanted. Okey doke. Let me see if this does the same thing again. I want to go to resource type, articles. Oh, okay. Here we go. So then I would just start cruising through here. I'm not sure what happened there, but I screwed something up. And that's the beauty. So years ago, one of my professors said that research is messy, research is ugly, and there's no right or wrong way to do it. And I don't know anybody who's perfect with this stuff. So it's a clumsy process. What you should be doing, well, hold on. So hopefully you understand how to work with the library function here and how you might be doing this. Now let's go back to the assignment. So you're going to do your research. Then you're going to make a claim. Determine what you want to say about the theme. So you've looked at the things we've read. You've thought about a theme or something that we've read you want to write about. Use something from one of the papers you wrote as something. You had a theme that you wrote about there. Utilize that. I'm down with that for sure. With the theme, so is it universal? Is it universal and therefore a dominant theme in life today? Is it the main focus? Is it the main focus in one of the short stories? Is the theme still prominent today, but a different way than it was used or explained in the text? That would be a great one for like Flannery O'Connor. For one examples, several of you wrote about how some of the language, maybe in the Faulkner piece or the O'Connor piece, is absolutely not acceptable today, and maybe that could be a theme or something that someone takes on. So you could juxtapose then and now type of things for your theme. Create a thesis that delivers a stance on the paper. Find the passages from the text and your sources that you can use to support your argument. So your theme. So this paper, how long should it be? You want to think 5, 6, 7 pages to really do this well, because you have to bring multiple components into the conversation. The sources you're writing about, the theme you're writing about, how it's reflected in the world, how it's reflected in the story or the poem. You want to bring in multiple examples. So that's a pretty significant beast. And then you're going to create the essay. Compose an essay that clearly explains your argument and your stance. Clear thesis to unify it. There is no word page limit. However, you're expected to cover your topic thoroughly. Again, I don't have a page limit or a word limit, but to do this well, I cannot imagine this being less than close to 4 pages. That would be the minimum I would say that this would be, and up to maybe 7 or 8 pages. So that's where I would be thinking. The essay must be use at least 4 previously published sources. So you've researched them, and now you have 4 of them, as well as the document. Not using the minimum number of sources will result in a failing grade for the assignment. Please read that. Not using the minimum number of sources will result in a failing grade for the assignment. The essay must use at least 4 previously published sources. What that means is not including the source that you're using. So when we look at primary and secondary sources, if you say, oh, well, I'm going to write about 2 poems and a short story. Well, there's 3 right there. Now I want outside of those to be the sources you're using, as well as those. Emily formatting, and then submit the assignment. Okay, so let's now go back to. So we understand the assignment, we understand the research. Let's get to. Oh, this is just talking about some tutorials for the media center or the library system. Here, so before you begin the discussion, be sure to read the theme assignment that we just looked at. Understand you'll be required to the assignment. Now, here, consider the theme you will use for the theme argumentative research essay, something you've come up with over the next couple of days. Already be thinking about it. Explain the theme, claim, and text you will plan to use on the paper. Now, you might not have read all of the text that you want to utilize, but maybe even just what types of documents are you going to be using for this? Do you want to look up essays about psychology? You want to write essays about articles on how your theme is utilized in the documents. If you want to do maybe Flannery O'Connor, who suffered from lupus, this incredibly painful disease, and yet she writes this amazing but very harsh, very critical literature. Is that reflective of or caused by some of the pain that she feels physically on a daily basis in her life? Answer is yes, but there might be articles or something like that you can use for that. Any questions that you might have as you're going forward with this? There are no required peer responses. I just need to see you have engaged in the writing or the beginning and the planning organization of this essay. So there's no, again, minimum for this particular post, but you should, what I'm looking for in this post are focused, thoughtful comments about where you're going with this. And if in your process you have questions about themes, essays, sources, any of that you have for me, shoot me a note. Happy to address those. Anyhow, I wanted to bring this to you and remind you or let you know that the paper is due on the 10th, which is Wednesday, and this is due on the 11th, which is Thursday. So revise the paper, get this post ready, and then we start moving in towards the annotated works cited page. All right, and I will look at those dates and make sure I update those if I need to with regards to due dates. So what you should be doing now is revising your essay, submitting your essay, and then working on organizing your plan for this paper. All right, and all that should be done by Wednesday and Thursday. Great. Any questions, let me know. Happy to help. Thank you so much. Have a great week, and I'm looking forward to reading these essays. They really did start off solid. Thank you.